Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? So, of course, we have some boxing coming up this weekend, and we have one of the best fighters in the sport. Some people even claim that he's pound for pound number one in the sport just based off of skill and ability. The fact that he's been undisputed at one point in his career. It's hard to argue against that claim, but Terence Crawford will be in the ring this weekend versus David Avaneysan. A fight that, quite frankly, nobody wanted to see. That's what we want to talk about in this video. It's just what to expect this weekend in that matchup. I know it's crazy for me to be asking that question. Like, motherfucker, you know what to expect, right? But I want to get y'all perspective and really, just talk about it. Like, we got to touch on that for a moment. Of course, we have the ESPN and Top Rank card. You got Teofimo Lopez. He's fighting against... he was supposed to fight Pedraza, I believe, but he's actually fighting Sandor Martinez, or Sandor Martin, the guy that beat Mikey Garcia in an upset, right? You also have Keyshawn Davis on that card. He's fighting another, I guess you would just build them fight. That's what I call them, build them fights, grooming fights. He's fighting another one of those. It's going to be nice. It's going to be a nice little weekend of boxing, just if you want to see some motherfuckers fighting. You dig what I'm saying? It ain't going to be quite what I hoped it would be, because I wanted to see Lopez versus Pedraza, even though I had him as a favorite in that fight. The Sandor Martin fight ain't bad, but it's a short notice fight, so I don't really know how I feel about that. But let's talk about Terence Crawford, man. Again, he's fighting David Avaneysan. It's a fight that nobody wanted to see. We all wanted to see Terence Crawford in the ring with Earl the True Spence Jr. As we know, Terence Crawford had been in talks with BLK Prime and others, being that he's a free agent. He's been in talks with them since, as far as based off of what Terence Crawford said, as early as about March, April, May, early this year, 2022. And even when Earl Spence, after he went out there and captured his third title at welterweight by defeating Yordenis Ugas in a huge fight, had about 40,000 people in Dallas Cowboys Stadium, big event. Ugas was coming off of one of the biggest wins at welterweight by beating Manny Pacquiao in dominant fashion. Earl Spence captured his third title in dominant fashion, stopping Yordenis Ugas, who had never been stopped before, breaking his eye socket, breaking ribs, beating him real bad, man. It just put on a very impressive demonstration of what was to come if Terence Crawford ever decided to get in the ring with Earl Spence, right? And I believe that Team Spence, Bomac. The crazy thing is, I ain't heard much from Bomac since this whole BLK Prime shit, right? I think he wanted that Earl Spence fight, and but Terence Crawford probably didn't want it as much, or maybe it was more of a money thing, right? I really can't put my finger on it, man, because it's so much back and forth and bullshit, just wishy-washy stuff going on, Terence Crawford said that he wasn't working on this fight with David Avaneysan the whole time he was in negotiation with Earl Spence, but then he doubled back and said that, yeah, I've been in talks with them this whole time. He even said that BLK Prime was one of the people that he called Earl Spence about, and talking about he offered him the money, but couldn't show him where the money was coming from, couldn't show him the what the back end was gonna be, couldn't show him nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's so much bullshit, man. And, Terence Crawford, every time he does an interview, man, it just gets worse and worse and worse. But here it is. The fight is finally here. It's, December 10th, this coming up Saturday. And he's going to get in the ring with David Avaneysan. Now, I want to ask y'all, What are y'all expecting from this? Now, me, y'all know how I feel about Terence Crawford, the fighter, the boxer. In the ring, I think he's incredible. I think he's a very gifted fighter. I think he's instinctively one of the most gifted fighters in the sport of boxing, if not the best, when it comes to just instinctively fighting. Just fighting off of pure, rage and instinct and ability, and just, throwing all the X's and O's out the window. Although he is a very intelligent fighter, I think instinctively, Terence Crawford is one of the best, if not the best. So I have high regard for Terence Crawford as a fighter. So, and I don't know a whole lot about David Avaneysan. I saw the fight that he had against, what's dude name? What is it, Josh Kelly? I think that's who it was. Some guy from the UK, I believe. I believe he's from overseas. Avaneysan himself on the Euro level is, he's one over there on the Euro level. He's like a C plus fighter, or maybe B minus. You dig what I'm saying? Been in the ring with some notable names, but he's not that type of guy. Been in the ring with Mean Machine, lost. He got stopped by him. Been in the ring with Lamont Peterson. He lost to him. Been in the ring with an older Sugar Shane Mosley. And, he's also, he lost to another guy as well. So he's not a dominant, or I would say he's not like an elite level fighter by no means or stretch of your imagination whatsoever. So I'm not expecting him to go in there and push Terence Crawford. Now, this is boxing. It's still, at the end of the day, it's two grown men, and I'm not saying that it's impossible for him to be competitive. I'm not saying it's impossible for him to win, even though in my mind it looks that way and it seems that way. If I were to do an in-depth breakdown on that fight, which I'm not going to do, I'm not about to go into depth as far as the keys to victory for both guys. The key to victory for Terence Crawford is just going there and whoop this dude's ass. I'm not about to do an in-depth analysis on this fight and give you the keys to victory for David Avaneysan. If he win, he win. That's just, you know what I'm saying? Like the gods was just looking down on him that day. You dig what I'm saying? But I'm not looking at it from that perspective. I just want to ask y'all, what do y'all expect? Are you expecting the what's obvious, Terence Crawford to go in and just obliterate this dude, put all type of combinations on him, just fight freely, be sharp, be focused, the same Terence Crawford that we always see be in phenomenal shape, have great power, keeping guys at the end of his punches? Are you expecting that same Terence Crawford? Are you expecting a Terence Crawford that been out the ring for over a year now, gotten older? He's a year older now. We know that Father Time is undefeated. Are we expecting some slippage? Are we expecting a guy who is unfocused? Are we expecting a guy who is overlooking Avaneysan at maybe a possibility at rekindling that negotiation with Earl Spence and making that fight happen for real this time? Coming to his senses after he sells, Eddie Hearn said he gonna sell less than 10,000 pay-per-view buys. I don't know if that's gonna be the case. Terence Crawford ain't really never been a big pay-per-view seller, but he getting the bag for this fight, right? After coming to his senses and realizing like, hey, it's only so long I can keep getting away with this shit, fighting this less competition and getting bags for it. It's only so long I can keep stealing this money. So will he come to his senses and say, man, let me go ahead and let me get in the ring with that dude, man. Say it's now enough. I gotta go ahead and get in there with Earl Spence. Is he thinking ahead and overlooking David Avaneysan? Is there a possibility for an upset from David Avaneysan? What are y'all expecting from this fight? I told you I'm expecting Terence Crawford to go in there. I expect him to be sharp. This guy, when he's out the ring, he takes care of himself. He's a very sharp fighter. He's one of those old school type of guys when, you know, always in the gym, always working. And he loves to fight. So I'm not expecting Terence Crawford to be anything less than what I saw the last time. The question is, you know, what can David Avaneysan bring to the table that could maybe help Terence Crawford stay sharp and get him prepared for a guy like an Errol Spence? I believe David Avaneysan is a southpaw, not a very skilled fighter. I'm not trying to shit on him or nothing. I'm not saying he's a bum, you know, because I don't like to use those words. I'd rather say C plus fighter, maybe C level fighter. On the Euro level, he's C plus, maybe B minus. I'm gonna say C plus on the Euro level. In America, he's C at best. He's a C class fighter at best. Not gonna call him a bum, but he's not an elite, highly skilled fighter. That's just not what he is. He got some power and he's strong. You know what I'm saying? And that's good. That's good. So can he impose that on Terence Crawford and make it a rough and tough fight and pull off an upset? What are y'all expecting out of this performance? I also want to ask y'all, I alluded to what Eddie Hearn said in the interview on Fight Hype. He said he don't expect Terence Crawford to do more than 10,000 pay-per-view buys. He said if Terence Crawford if he went down to Las Vegas or anywhere, if he walked in the mall outside of Omaha, Nebraska, if he went downtown, nobody know who he is. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't nobody recognize him. You feel me? So I want to know what y'all think he gonna do on the pay-per-views. You feel me? Is the stadium gonna be sold out? Are y'all expecting a big turnout for this? This is an opportunity for Terence Crawford to show what type of star power he really got. The pay-per-view ain't really cost. It costs $39. It's affordable, but it ain't a fight that motherfuckers want to see. You know, so can he sell out a venue? Can he sell at least 200,000 pay-per-view buys carrying the whole card? He got Cyborg on there, you know, the female MMA fighter. She's gonna be on there. You know what I'm saying? So that's an added boost for him. But can he carry this card with just his name? You know what I'm saying? Can he produce and help these people get a return back off what they put in there? So y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. How y'all feel about this performance, or how you feel about this matchup? What you expecting from Terence Crawford as far as his performance? What you expecting from David Avaneysan? Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Contender Regime Boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.